Yeah. I'm gonna keep my mic like this and talk like this into it. I hope you people can hear me now. It's not going to fucking cut out on us like the last fucking episode. No. Should I?
No.
Should I? You want me to?
I think we should look professional.
What if I just put the tip
in your whole mouth?
In my mouth, yes.
I agree. Like if you just like...
My mouth isn't big enough.
I think so. It just unhinge your jaw.
Like a fucking snake. Yeah, I don't mind holding it like this. Fuck it. It'll be fine.
What? We're gonna look so fucking up. Okay, that's fine.
What do you mean?
Nothing.
We're gonna look what?
Nothing. Like, say that.
A father and son duo. That's what we're gonna look like. That's what we're looking like today. Oh my goodness. Okay, are you ready for this?
Welcome back to the cEDH podcast. I'm Blake.
I'm Chase, and today we got new mics, and we're covering another top 16. But this time, Blake is in it.
I am. And I'm really fucking happy about it.
Spoiler alert, but yeah. So, this past weekend, I didn't get the chance to go to it, but you went to it. And if you haven't noticed, we got new fucking mics. You all kept commenting about our mic situation, and you have been for a while. So thank you for bullying us enough into getting these. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about this event you went to. You went to the Infinity Game Lounge free anniversary event. It was the Plateau Punch-Out. And this was in Clarksville, Tennessee, and had a total of 87 players.
Which is fucking wild because when you looked, the event capped out. It was 120 people. That means that many people decided not to show up.
Yeah, so like even the days kind of leading up to this, there were like Blake just said, 120 people registered for this, and then people just like either no-showed or last minute canceled or things like that. I almost kind of feel like that's to be expected at a free event though.
Yeah. Yeah. What I thought, and I even made that comment at one point, I think that it would have made a little bit of sense to like have somebody, like you have to put a little bit down, but then when you get there, it's just like store credit for you. And that way you incentivize people showing up. So it's really just money that they get to spend on cars. It doesn't, if that's something you wanted to do. But I do think it was very, very interesting. But the event was a shit ton of fun, dude. It was a lot of fun. We almost did not make it there on time because Trevor got pulled over.
What?
Yeah, Trevor got pulled over when we were on the way up there because his tags were not just expired, but like very expired. And he decided to pull over into a gas station and then got out of the car like he was going to be pumping gas. And the cop was like, no, this is a traffic stop. Please stay in the vehicle. And so he just gets back in the car and rolls his window down.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Did the officer already have the lights on?
Yeah.
And everything?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Poor Trevor. Trevor.
Yeah. But it was all good. But we made it there with exactly 2 minutes to spare. So yeah. They were taking last calls and we were like, oh me. So but it was good. And obviously, before we get into everything, let's just we got a couple housekeeping things that we always have to touch base on.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're talking loud enough for that? Can the people hear you?
You're inside.
I am inside the mic.
The mic is inside you.
I know. I spent enough money for it. I might as well.
Yeah. Fucked. I'm sorry. Can you hear me? Yeah, okay, cool. But no. So a couple housekeeping things. First of all, if you haven't done so already, subscribe, because a lot of people watch our shit and haven't done that. So if you're one of those people, don't subscribe.
I don't have the numbers in front of me right now, but I think it's gone down to 77% of people.
That's solid.
Thank you all. Thank you all. We still need more.
Second thing, join the Patreon and get in Critical's League. You still have over half a month to be playing in Crit's League. There's literally some of the best players, the best players in our space in that league. So join our Patreon at literally any tier, and you get access to Critical's League. It's crazy. It's the best place to have Magic. It is a top 16 game every single game that you pretty much get into. So go do that.
And in addition to that, if you just want to talk with us a little bit more directly, just join the Patreon. Our Discord is still free overall, But there are patron channels, and then I've actually started doing a little bit of just one-on-one sessions, like whenever I get the chance to, with one of our $10 patrons. So that's been kind of cool.
You too can be like our locals that feel bad for us and join. No,
Yeah.
no, it's fine. It's fine. But also,
fine.
our very first patron was Critical, which is really cool. So
Yeah.
that was really cool.
So yeah, that was awesome.
So we really appreciate those guys. And one of the other little housekeeping things that I need to touch on for myself, I built a Yuriko deck today.
Ugh.
I'm going to print it off and cut it out and proxy it and practice.
So we can. Are we upholding our promise?
I'm going to take it to the event at Hobbytown on the 25th.
Oh fuck! That means I have to take flubs to the Hobbytown event. Oh no!
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I hate you so much.
Just be happy.
Okay,
that
fine.
it's that
I'll play flubs at that.
and not the cookout.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you,
Yeah.
Blake.
Yeah.
It's a very generous offer that you have there.
Thank you, Chase, for getting us these lovely mics.
I get these mics and you reward me with forcing me to play flubs at a local event. Sure, why not? Fuck it. That's the best place to play it, right?
Any other housekeeping things that you can
I don't think so. I'm ready to get in this top 16.
Fuck yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
Cool. Let's start. All right. In 16th place, we have Chadwick Willoughby on Zur the Enchanter. This fucking dude, I think this list is shit, but
It's pretty bad.
it's pretty bad. It just slams like 5 copies of Ristic Study and maybe a Smothered Tithe or something. It just draws out the game. So, but you're well versed in this deck. So, would you like to explain what Zur does?
Yeah, Zur swings and doesn't have haste. He has flying, thank God. He's a 1/4. But yeah, on attack, you have an attack trigger, and you can go get any 3 mana or less enchantment from your deck and put it straight into play. Skips the stack. If it's an aura, it comes in equipped to creatures, so it gets past like Shroud and Hexproof and all that other good stuff. And I definitely took full advantage of that ability because Ristic Study is a really good card, and when you can go fetch it straight out of the command zone, it's pretty good. The only problem is that Esper is struggling to find win cons. You have Thassa Decon, and you have your opponent's Thassa Decon with Meme Bet, and that's it. And so, on the ride up there, I was literally making edits to the deck. Like, most of the stuff in it, like Children of Corliss is kind of a goofy thing. You swing, go get Necropotence. You can Necro for pretty much your whole life total, crack it, and then you gain all your life back, do it again. Certain cards or includes, just because, like, again, we don't like Esper has a good selection of cards, but we don't. When you add red with Blue Farms colors, you get access to like so many more tools. But yeah, so you play lots of like draw engines like the Fairy Mastermind, the Archivist, Esper Sentinel. You get access to like Mockingbird, Tataru, Lotho, all the good silence effects. And then Delny is really good because it doubles up triggers for like most of the things in the deck. It doubles up Esper Sentinel, it will double up the Archivist, double up Fairy Mastermind, double up Lotho, double up OBM, double up Zur, which is very important. Double up Thassa, technically. It doesn't matter. But,
It doesn't matter.
you know, those pesky trick binds. But yeah. And then as far as like if you keep scrolling down to like sorcery package, it's just a bunch of tutors. And then technically like alternate win cons with like Meme Bet, Praetor's Grass. Yogg's Will is really good just as like recursion. It's kind of like our own discounted like diet version of Underworld Breach. Yeah, it's like 0 calorie Underworld Breach. Deluge is the board wipe of choice. This is a control list, so I feel like I have to run board wipes, which is really funny because I have not resolved a Deluge in a very long time, but I still keep it in there because like creature decks are very rampant and it does come up occasionally. So like I like having access to it.
Yeah.
28 instants in the deck.
I'm looking at this card. I really just every time I see it, I just filled with rage and fucking hate it.
Angel's Grace.
Angel's Grace.
Such a good card. Such a good card. It really is. It's beautiful. I love it. It forces the draw. I love it.
No,
This
it
is
doesn't.
your Urtai.
Kellen wins through it.
This is your Urtai.
Kellen just wins through it.
This is your Urtai.
Urtai's better.
That's right. Urtai ain't got split second.
Need it. It'd be fine.
28 instants, the deck just interacts. That's literally all it does. Like, I tell people that all the time whenever they think about, like, countering my Ristic, killing my... Like, all I do is keep your opponents from winning the game. They just don't know that I'm also keeping them from winning the game. And that is like all I do. I just stall the game out long enough, drag it into the late game enough until I find enough tutors to like go get my win con, slam a silence effect, try to win the game. And so that's pretty much what this deck does.
Still notably not on ad nauseum.
Yeah, I have really contemplated putting Nas back in.
Did you get a hold of this trick bind? I hate you.
Yeah, I did.
I hate you so much.
I actually slotted it in on the way up.
Oh my
There were a
god.
couple of cards that went in on the way up. Notably, High Fate Trickster went in on the way up. I thought that was going to be like a good include, just as like like another.
Was it a good include?
Never came up. Ever.
Okay, fair enough.
Never. What else went in on the way up? Trick Bind went in on the way up. Did come up. It was relevant. Um, I also cut Cursed Totem
Thank you.
on the way up. That was very relevant. And I put in Talisman of Progress over and I know that's probably like, what the fuck? That doesn't make any sense. This led to so many turn 2 Zers.
Really?
It was insane. Yeah, I'm actually thinking about going up another Talisman,
Okay.
which is crazy. But everybody kept telling me to run the blue-black one. I think that the blue-white one was the better move because like all of my early value engines are blue or white.
Yeah.
So I just like having access to that, being able to immediately like kind of ramp and then throw out like an Esper Sentinel or a finish. Or
Well, I feel like we've talked about it before where we've noticed a lot of lists, not just within Esper, but like even like Blue Form and things like that, that if they are on a talisman, like this seems to be the one they gravitate towards.
Yeah.
And part of that I think is because the blue and the blacks tends to be the easiest colors to hit
Yeah.
in the deck, right? Whereas with the white, it's your least represented color within the deck. And then you're also like if you're doing Grand Abolisher and you're doing like Ranger Captain and things like that, you're trying to do more like double
pips.
white blue double white pips there. Like yeah, you have some like obviously Thassus is double blue. And if I look down where you're on Mirror Maid as well.
Yeah.
Like you need the blue, but again, if the weakest color or the most underrepresented color in the deck is white, it just makes sense to be able to do that. I have always been in the boat in the like kind of on the side of like making sure you're hitting the two most consistent ones, but I see the appeal in making sure that you're hitting that white and
Yeah.
so that way you can kind of just get there.
Yeah. I also cut what was it? Grim Monolith. I cut it.
I think that's fine.
Yeah. And then I cut the Entomb and Necromancy package. I cut it.
Okay.
One of the cards that actually went back in the list too on the day was Children of Corliss. Just hilarious. I just love that card. It's so good. People will be like, "That's shit. Why are you playing that?" But it's just so good. I'm trying to think what other card back into the list just from
It almost looks like you're trying to do more One Ring shenanigans than you have been recently because you had the Manifold Key, you had the One Ring.
Well, you know what's crazy is I almost cut that
Phenomenal.
like on my way down there too.
Really?
Never resolved a One Ring the entire time. I did flip into a Manifold Key off of a Tybalt's trick. The only time it got cast.
That's counterspell of magic.
Notably, some of the good cards in this list, if you get down for being an aura coming straight into play, like people always try to interact after it's already entered attached to the creature.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm gonna do this, and I'm like, you can, it's already in play. Goated card. I took it out, and then when Tim picked it up in the morning, it's fucking amazing. So I went back in.
I definitely feel like after our game the other day with Kellen and Matt, you're like, yep, this is staying in here forever. Not ever taking this out again.
Oh yeah. Copy Artifact and Mirror Maid being able to come in as Wishclaw Talismans is massive. Like, that's insane. So that led me to a couple wins during the tournament.
Oh, okay.
And then another card that I cut was Urza Saga, and I put back in Emergent Zone. So just trying to like play in that flash meta.
Yeah.
After losing to Kellen, I needed that. Was like, he's pretty good. I need to put it back in.
It seems pretty good.
But yeah, like I'm just still working on some things to retool the list a little bit. I think I'm gonna take out Manifold Key, probably take out the One Ring, probably take out Manamo. I'm thinking about adding in a couple of other things into the list. Like I may take out One Ring and honestly go back on Nas, if I'm being honest. Like I know it's not the same, but I would just rather be able to pick my whole deck up and then I'll cut the key, maybe put in like another talisman. I don't know what I'll take out or replace for Manamo. I'll figure that out. But just a couple of edits that I want to make. But overall, dude, the list feels so fucking good. The lack of win cons sucks, obviously, but I just tried to stick to my game plan of like Rhystic Study, find a Rhystic Study.
Yeah.
I'm mulliganing for Rhystic Study. If I have a tutor in my hand, it's a Rhystic Study. Like, my whole commander gets me Rhystic Study, so, like, all my tutors in the deck just find Rhystic Study. And then I would set back. I would just help interact where I needed to, and then try to make friends with everybody at the table until eventually I found my window, and then I was just going. And it worked out pretty good for me. And all of my losses on the day came to people that made top 4. So, like, I had 2 losses to Corbin. He's really fucking good. He's on Blue Farm.
Yeah.
Lost to Tim, turn 2, Rocco. You ain't gonna win those.
Yeah.
And then I lost to, I think, Jared, and he was on Kefka. Same thing. Just is what it is. But overall, I felt really good with the list. I didn't mean for that to be so long, but
You've been waiting to talk about it for a while.
Yeah, I've been so happy. Finally get
So,
to 16 with it. That was really fun.
hell yeah. So, well, congratulations, Chadwick Willoughby, with a record of 2-3-0 in 16th place.
Hell yeah.
Good job, dude.
Thank you.
Okay, in 15th place, we have Zach Shelton on Krark Sakashima. This is a list we haven't seen pop up in a while. It's mostly been Ral and VV, so let's kind of take a look and see what they got going on in here.
It's funny you say that, because it has Ral and VV. 99 or 98.
We're just playing Is It Storm Good stuff.
That is correct.
Seems pretty good.
Seeing Electro again.
I was about to say, like, this is something, I think that this is a really good card. I'm sad we didn't really talk about it, but I think that we are starting to see this being picked up in just more and more lists. All these Is It decks are playing it right now. I kind of feel like the only thing that this list is missing is what Stella Lee and Joyra. Like, they're on Ral, they're on VV, they're on Bayred. So
that's what the clones are for.
Yeah. So, yeah, as far as Krark Sakashima stuff, it's kind of a similar game plan that these other Is It decks are doing, as far as they're just trying to storm off and make a bunch of mana, whether that's through rituals or through things like the Storm Killing Artist, and the Tavern Scoundrel also being able to produce a lot of mana. The Archmage Emerius being able to just draw a fuck ton of cards. Professional Facebreaker as well, being able to make mana, but also help you see more cards in general. Yeah, so again, but this is a list we haven't seen just pop up in forever.
Yeah.
Especially because I think of the printing of our other stuff. Plus, I feel like with the mid-range meta, is it just kind of fell out of favor. And now that we're going into this more like turbo-y approach, like, I think that Krark Sakashima is still a little bit slower than obviously Ral and maybe even VV to some extent.
Yeah.
But I think we're seeing this resurgence in red-blue turbo decks, and I think it is still a very traditional cEDH game plan that if you're not ready for it, and you're not ready and prepared for all the flips that are going to happen out of this, then it will just run away with the game sometimes.
Yeah, I think the biggest reason why people switched off of Krark Saka and they went on to like other stuff like the Krark Jeska and other decks like that Krark Timna, is because like the one issue, the glaring weakness that this has is that Sakashima has to come in as obviously a creature you control. And so people know the exact interaction point. It's when you cast the Sakashima and it's coming in and it's going to clone the Krark, kill the Krark, Sakashima comes in as just a Sakashima. It basically does nothing, so now it's out of the zone. They don't have the clone, and now Krark costs 4, and they have to basically get time walked again, cast Krark on their next turn. It just slows the deck way down. So I think that this list has a very set interaction point. I think with people getting a little bit more greedy, trying to find like the early Rhystic hands or trying to go really turbo, if you can have the mid-rangey decks stop some of the turbo decks, and then you get to kind of set up your game plan, and people haven't really looked for interaction, they're just looking for that Rhystic Study, you can go ahead and get set up, and then after that, like, if this deck does get set up, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Like, it's very
well, but I think that even maybe kind of countering your point for a second, I think that the way that the list could potentially be built is you just go, fuck it, we're going to go heavy into Krark instead. We'll build the 99 around him, and then we'll mostly use Sakashima as the color, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's how you kind of play around people going, oh, let's wait for this Sakashima to come down. Sakashima just never fucking comes down. Then it's too late to kind of stop it at that point. Now, there's other creatures in here. Like, for example, I think being able to have access to VV and the Stormkilling Artist in the 99, like there are other good targets if you do get into that Sakashima plan. Like you can copy either one of those
Yeah.
as well. Like yeah, it might be better for the to copy the Krark and get more activations and things like that. But being able to copy either of those two targets as well
Yeah.
gives you probably a little bit more value in the long run.
Yeah. The only problem with like a singular Krark is it can sometimes be like a self-imposed stacks piece by accident. But at the same time, Krark is really fucking busted.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that I agree with you.
Well,
on that.
and that's why we've seen Krark Timna. We've seen a ton of Krark Thrasios popping up here recently.
Yeah.
So it's good. It's still a solid card. Like even and Krark Silas too. Like it doesn't pop up as much as Rogsai, obviously, but it's still pretty good. What else we got in here? We see some of the creature package, obviously. Not as many of the sorceries as like I think you would typically see in some of these builds, but I think that's fine when you run the risk of just like the card going back to hand anyway. You probably don't want to do too much at sorcery speed.
Yeah.
And so like going down here to the instances like all the cantrips, all being able to probably loop something with bolt as well, just burn out the table. Same thing with gut shot. I'm not seeing they're not on lava dart like how Rao would be
They also have like in the festivities up top too.
to deal damage that way.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just
do
solid cantrip, solid control package.
I love the fact that like Mog Salvage and Submergers are so busted in this deck.
Oh yeah,
So good.
yeah, just fucking people up left and right.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, artifacts, relic legends, which is kind of cool. I mean, the legend count is high enough that you just turn some of your legends into just dorks. And I mean, once Krark hits the field, he's there mostly for the flips. He doesn't have any other activated abilities or anything like that. So I mean,
Yeah. I do think that obviously the Ruby Medallion just shows like how heavy red this deck is. Like I find that kind of funny. Like a lot of the Is It lists that you're seeing play anyway, like the blue literally are just kind of counter spells. And then maybe like another little value piece, but like Ral is majority red. It feels like Stella Lee is pretty heavy red by some of the win cons. Same thing with like this list, like it's very heavy in the red.
Yeah. And aside from that, everything else looks like what we've kind of been seeing in the Is It builds. Like, with the exception of Ral, like having a 24, 23-ish land count, not too heavy in the enchantments. We're still the same main three: Fish, Breach, and Rhystic Study. And you just fucking jam, right?
Yep.
So on that, I don't have anything else to say on this list. So what about you? All right. Well, congratulations, Zach, on 15th place with a record of 2-2-1. All right. In 14th place, we have Terry Lawson on Terra Magical Adept. So I just like Terra. I like Terra. I think it's a good commander. You just play 5-color good stuff, right? So, you have played against Terry before, correct?
I have.
Now, I think the only thing that I'm kind of looking at here is, and this is, I feel like, is a trend that we are seeing with Terra, is that not doing the whole
Womb Shrieker.
Well, not doing the food chain.
Yeah.
It looks like the list is starting to come off of food chain, which is fine because obviously you just play basically a blue farm shell plus green.
Yes.
And you just jam and you get there and you win.
Yeah.
I think it's an interesting decision since Terra wants to function so well with not just food chain, but Underworld Breach as well. So it's just kind of like, why not play it? But if they're choosing to prioritize like a higher card quality and things like that, it does kind of make a little bit more sense.
Well, it was funny because we made that. I was talking to him because we played at an event, one of the last events that we were at, and he made that comment where because I asked him, I said, "Oh, you doing better today?" And he said, "Well, the last time that me and you were talking, we were at the back tables. Today, we're at the front tables." So he said, "Definitely getting better."
That's funny. That's so funny.
But yeah, so I mean, even when I was talking to Xander, he was saying that like Terra seems to be almost like a Rogsai-esque deck with the extra colors. Like you just want to kind of go turbo.
Yeah.
And so I mean, it definitely makes sense. Like I think that this list actually does look really sick. It is just like a 5-color good stuff type shell with a really good value piece
Yeah.
again in the zone.
Rog side plus silence effects plus ramp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, for real. Got some sick. I mean, good enchantment package.
Yeah.
Good artifacts. Got the grinding station ability, and then on 26 lands.
I'm kind of surprised, like, especially if they're trying to go faster. I know they're on the Tinder Wall. You can obviously sacrifice that, fuel your breach lines, be able to cast, like, Underworld Breach off of it, kind of utilizing it as a creature, Rite of Flame. If they're trying to go fast, I'm kind of surprised we don't see anything like Wild Canter in the list, where it's just like one green or red, and then you could sack it for any color that you need. Yeah, it only gives you one, but being able to fuel the graveyard and have a little bit of additional color fixing, I think is pretty good.
Yeah.
Sorcery wise, I mean, essentially it looks just like Blue Farm's sorcery package with the exception of the culling ritual, which is very, very strong in the format right now. And I think any deck that's running green black should be on it. But you know, aside from that, like 30 pieces of instances, probably a lot of interaction on the into the they're even on strict serenade,
Yep,
which is
noticed
kind of cool. You know, I don't feel like a lot of lists have picked that up. I mean, I'm playing it currently in cEDH just because it eliminates the main threats of cEDH being like some of the artifact stacks effects and then like opposition agent. But I mean, yeah, it's just blue farm plus green. Like the only green spell that's in the instances is Veil of Summer, right? And so that seems good. Opting to do intuition and gifts ungiven here. Looking at the artifacts, they are on grinding station. So again, that kind of adds to that point you were making for, you know, just trying to be more turbo, be a little bit more aggressive. I think the only thing that could potentially make that a little bit more aggressive is like if we see the One Ring come out and then like they add Rain of Filth.
Yeah.
Right. So and literally just make it like how some of the blue farm lists are doing it. Same blue farm enchantment package. Same, not necessarily the same count as blue farm on the lands. But the Sheffield Coliseum is interesting. I just saw that. And Shifting Woodlands?
Yeah.
I guess if they, I mean, with Terra, if you end up putting an Underworld Breach in the graveyard and you have this, you can just like literally start breaching whenever you want to, as long as you have Delirium. So I think that's cool. I like that. Again, I can understand the appeal of going like a little bit faster if the more turbo-y with Terra, because she is low CMC, just being at 3. I like playing more into the mid range anyway, so that just made me be me personally. But obviously they did well because they got in 14th place.
Okay.
So congratulations, Terry, with a record of 2-2-1. In 13th place, we have Taylor Brown on Marnius Calgar. So was this the only Marnius list?
I think so.
I think you already spoiled Tim. Like, so I know Tim has typically been on Marnius, but he's not here recently, and it was not for this event. So let's take a look at this Marnius list. Obviously, we're in an Esper shell. You are the resident expert on Esper things. I know that probably the main combos we're looking at here is obviously Thassa's Oracle stuff, you know. Sure. And then doing this like Warren Soul Trader, Stride Hanger Automaton, and the Grim Hireling as another combo piece. Campbell is an interesting include, but I mean, if you're able to kind of trigger this every turn and you're making a token, like if you have Marnius out, that's just a free card, right? And it is legendary, so I don't know if they're on Mox Amber or not, but it gives you the access to that early on as well, and with the inclusion of Lotho here. Trying to see if there's anything else. They're on Snapcaster, so I'm assuming they're on some kind of Gifts Ungiven line with like Reanimate and Thassas and things like that. But I mean, other than that, you're just going Esper Value Town, right? With the Sentinel Mockingbird, probably copying that Archivist Fairy, stealing shit with Volatile Drake, or utilizing that as a removing whatever from the board. You obviously are in white, so you have your silence effects with the Ranger Captain, the Voice of Victory, having access to 2 flash enabling things with the High Fae and the Valley Flood card, which I think is perfectly fine.
Yes.
I think High Fae is a card that we are seeing a little bit more outside of like probably just like what Ken Index. I feel like that's when we first started really seeing it pop up. But now it's like shit, probably in blue farm list, and maybe Rocks. I don't know. People can play it if they want to. I think it's a good card. Yeah. Notably, they are not on like the Ocelot Pride, like how Tim runs, and they're not on the Sephiroth that he's also been running. So let's kind of take a look, see what else. Sorcery wise, I mean, all the tutors. There's the reanimate. So I'm assuming they are on Gifts Ungiven as well.
Yes, yeah.
Just a lot of tutors,
Savines is
Savines, which
so
you
good.
can actually use that in the that gifts package as well,
Yep.
which is probably why it's in there. Or if there's another Savine, or like you could go and get the Warren Soul Trader, Grim Hireling, the Savines, and like
Well, you don't
something
even
else.
really need the Grim either in this instance. Like just the Warren and the Stride Hanger, correct? To create like sacking the Thopter, making a treasure, just make enough mana and then start to draw cards with Marnius combo.
Yeah, yeah, you could totally do that.
So I mean, but yeah, I think that that's really good. Having access, to, like you said, Savines and having access to some of these
Well,
other.
shit, if you have enough mana, you could literally do a gifts package of the Grim Hireling, the Warren Soul Trader, and the Shrine Hanger,
Yeah,
and Savines,
yeah,
and just
yeah.
well, no, Grim Hireling won't work with that package in particular because of the restriction of Savines. I don't know. There's got to be something else there outside that Thassa's package, but oh well.
Still
Uh,
really good. Yeah.
23 instances, a lot of interaction. They are on the Banishing
Banishing
Knack
Knack.
and Retraction Helix for the Valley Flood Caller.
Wow.
Orm's Chant. I think that this is a card we are starting to see a whole lot more of.
Yeah.
Um,
I need to pick up a copy. I was just
I
thinking
do
about
too.
it.
And I think that one, obviously you can slow down one player or you can kick it and slow down like everyone else at the table. I think that we are getting to a point now that especially like Turbo is popping up more and more. Orm's chance of becoming more and more prevalent because we need more ways of just silencing people at instant speed, right?
Got to
Like
stop blue form.
Ranger Captain, yeah, sure, you can put it down at instant speed, but then you got to crack it and things like that, and then it's only restricted to non-creature spells. That doesn't help against the creature decks like a Tali and things like that. Orm's Chant at least hits all spells, like they can't cast any spells until the end turn. So I think it being in here, plus being able to give your opponents access to like um being able to still interact if they need to, like if something happens, I think is really prevalent right now as well. But I mean, other than that, there's the gifts I'm given. All the interaction. They are on Grafdigger's Cage, which is neat. Stacks piece, cool. Fucking hate stacks sometimes. But it's not a curse totem, so I'll take it. Looking at the enchantments, yeah. Smothering Tithe, obviously, like that's the all-star in this deck. Right? You resolve like an early Smothering Tithe before Marnius comes down, and it's just like, well, they're drawing their entire deck by the next part of the rotation. So that's really cool. Amphibian Downpour, all those enchantments coming down, all the aura enchantments coming down as tokens. Also triggers Marnius, which is neat. Mirror Maid, Fish, Ristic, you know how it goes. Looking at the lands package, I'm not seeing if there's anything that like stands out to me per se. They're on the emergent zone, but that's about it. You got anything else for this list? Cool.
It just looks like a really good list.
Yep. So congratulations, Taylor, with a record of 2-2-1. All right. In 12th place, we have Travis Lewis on Glarb, Calamity's Augur. So Travis is one of our local players that he's been on this Glarb list for a while. And to my understanding, I think he's been making a bunch of updates. And I just saw an update that I sent him a deck list the other day for Glarb because the person I'm talking to is wanting to take Glarb to the fishbowl. And I sent him a list and he never responded back to me. So I know you listened to us, Travis. Respond back to me, damn it. Anyway, yeah, let's take a look at the list. I know that you and Kellen said the other day that you don't like the Gwenum stuff. I think Gwenum in this list could be fucking awesome.
I like Gwenum. I told you that I like.
I know, but the moment Kellen was like, I don't know about it, you were just like, I don't know about it either.
In Glarb in the 99, like okay, yeah, but I think Gwenum in the command zone, fantastic. I think that the deck needs to be very built around what Gwenum's wanting to do. But then again, also this list is built around being able to do bolus stuff. So yeah,
I think it's very fitting. I do think that this is. I think we will see more people on Glarb picking this up. That's my hot take for the night, first of many. But I think Gwenum can find a place in this deck, and it's exactly the reason why you.
still listening.
Are you sniffing it?
No, I was going really close.
Oh my god. It's the exact same reason you just brought up. Like if they're on the Ballista Citadel lines, you might as well create a little bit of redundancy within the deck and have it on a body where like it's a little bit harder to react or interact with it. Like you have to use a hard counter on it, right? Like a force of will or pact of negation, things like that. If you're on enough rituals, like this thing can come down on turn one, right? If they really want to slam a Gwenum down on turn one, they can. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm boring you, princess. But that's how I say it. It's just like it's a bolus of citadel in a body, and you attack and you just start ripping cards off the top. And then even if you have Glarb out, like say if you're able to do turn two Gwenum and then you cast Glarb on curb, like yeah, you're not necessarily getting the Serval right, or you fuck it, you say Glarb on one, Gwenum on two, you swing, and now you're able to start churning through your deck, especially if you start making pieces like the Dryad of Elysian Grove has been popping up a lot in these lists, a lot of like the exploration to be able to get more lands off the top. You're not going to be like completely stopped at all times, right? And so Gwenum is a way of just helping you keep going in this deck, especially whenever you start hitting your spells that are less than 4 CMC. I think it's a good include.
You're really defending this card.
I think it's a good include. I think it's a really good include in this list.
We can all know.
We will see if Glarb starts performing really, really well with Gwenum in the 99. Then I don't know. Our takes. A lot of people don't like our takes at times, but then we end up being right. So we'll see what happens.
We called the alter ego shit on the Spider-Man cards.
We did, but no one watched that fucking episode.
That was a really bad episode.
I don't think it was a bad episode. It
was one of our first episodes.
It was one of our first episodes. We did a lot of predictions on the sets for this year, and some of our stuff was actually correct.
Very accurate.
Yeah. I'm moving on. Sorcery wise, obviously, like we're on the good tutors. He's still on the opposition agent scheming symmetry type stuff with Displacer Kitten. So the way he has utilized this combo in the past is being able to like do opposition agent, have Displacer Kitten out, and like loop scheming symmetry and dark ritual with like Ewit and things like that. So that way, essentially, you're milling out to everyone, but you have access to all of their libraries, and you generate mana through the dark ritual in order to just basically cast whatever you want to at that point.
Yeah, he's also done that same loop, just with like being able to basically demonic tutor every single thing out of his deck.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's a really good
Yeah. So
Toxic Deluge, which just kind of solidifies that it's a control list. Like
see
it Deluge, you're like it's a control list.
I think Toxic is fine. I've noticed a lot of lists like doing Massacre as well, because you can actually cast that off the top and it just does -2 to everything. So it's been pretty good as well. Looking at the go ahead.
No, you're good. I just think the -2 doesn't hit. It hits a lot of stuff.
It doesn't hit like Draenith. It doesn't hit.
Well, I was thinking like what Face Breaker and doesn't hit.
Face Breaker
doesn't kill like Thrasios. Doesn't kill. There's a lot of things that it just is not. It's very good. I agree with you. I think it's a very good card, but it's
I think it's a card that's mostly just preparing for like most of the Turbo Cradle decks right now, because it'll kill off most of the tokens, and that's kind of the important part. But anyway, moving on before my laptop dies. So we are at 22 pieces of instances. He is on the Retraction Helix for the Valley Flood color lines, and you can kind of continue to utilize that even with Glarb, because every time you cast something, if Glarb and Valley are out, you will untap the Glarb, and then you could Surveil again, and as you Retraction Helix the whatever rock back to hand. So you just continue seeing more
make
cards.
Mana and also see cards, cast stuff off the top, rinse, repeat.
So he's not on Abrupt Decay, but he is on Assassin's Trophy, which I don't think is a bad call. Abrupt Decay still hits quite a few things in the format. It's uncounterable. But Assassin's Trophy, being able to take out a Gaia's Cradle or things like that, has a little bit more flexibility. Even though it can give them a land, but depending on the deck, most people aren't running basics anyway. So Turbo Cradle decks are, but they're mostly going to want their Gaia's Cradle or Manama or Deserted Temple, shit like that. So artifacts, we are on the Bolus of Citadel, the Aetherflux, Sensei's Top, Machine God's Effigy. Do you have anything up here that we're comboing off more with that? No Devoted Druid or anything like that, but I don't think that's needed in this list. Right? So if anything, it's just an additional blue source, and you can kind of copy some other value engines like a Consecrated Sphinx or anything like that kind of comes down, Fairy Mastermind or an Orcish Bowmaster potentially. So I don't know exactly what Travis is using it for in this list, but let us know, Travis. Enchantment wise, again, I mentioned the Dryad of Elysian Grove. He's on the exploration here. Counterbalance just kind of makes sense if you are already using the top. You might as well do more shenanigans with that. Copy enchantment, which I think is perfectly fine in this kind of list. He is kind of going a little bit more controlling mid-rangey route. So I think being able to make multiple heuristic studies is pretty good. Necropotence, he swears by this card. And I think most Glur players do because it just allows you to kind of continue filtering off the top, and just if you don't need it or you can't cast it, you pay one and then you go keep going, right? So it seems really good. Land wise, he's on the Mistrise and Talon Gates of Madara and Shifting Woodlands as first things that kind of stand out, but I think they're still really good cards.
I don't like starting Talon, but that's fine.
I don't even think I said Starting Town.
But I just happen to see it. But
I just know you hate that card. Yep. So, congrats. Oh, we didn't even talk about Tezzeret, but I don't.
Tezzeret and Displacer Kitten, you get every mana positive rock out of your deck.
Seems good. Seems real good. All right. Congratulations, Travis, with a record of 2, 1, and 2. In 11th place, we have Joel Townsend, another local of ours, on TNT. So he's gone through like a few different iterations of this deck, and he's actually been playing more Rogthras the past like several months. But he is actually doing Jordan Drake's Tree Farm. Yeah. So, as we have kind of come to expect in this build of it in particular, obviously, like we're keeping some Devoted Druid lines. We have pieces like the Biomancer's Familiar and probably Training Grounds in order to lower the activation cost of Thrasios. Pieces like Charismatic Conqueror in order to like almost kind of punish people for casting spells because you just get more bodies. Same thing with the Springheart Nantuko, finding more ways of putting more bodies on the field and just ultimately kind of abusing Cradle. Mm-hmm. I like this TNT list.
I actually just put a version of this together, same thing to proxy off, so that we kind of have it in our back pocket for gameplays and stuff like that.
Yeah. Like as far as other like notable includes like this Weathered Wayfarer being able to just basically tutor for the Cradle.
Yeah.
When need be, probably being able to do some shenanigans with the Fairy Mastermind. Obviously, we're on a Boro Breeze Caller. The Boron Oculus being able to, again, just put more bodies on the field, is really solid. I like...
Sure.
What?
I was going to say, Jordan Drake also commented, too, like whenever he was talking about the list, but he said that Aven Interrupter has been just like an all-star in this list the entire time.
Yeah. I think it's really solid. Just being able to, probably even in... the mirror match, right? Or like against a Rogthras, like just being able to essentially
hitting the uncounterable things.
Yeah. I think it's really good. Derevian Mill, I'm a big fan of that combo anyway. I think if you're gonna do like Cradle shenanigans, you might as well just include it because it's like you just resolve those 3 pieces and you win, right? So that seems good. Sorceries, nothing like Savine's Wreck or anything like that, but direct to battlefield tutors, Demonic Tutor being the only like 2-hand tutor he's got, and then a Culling Ritual. Probably, again, might be for like almost like the Mirror Match or Kennen or Sisay or anything like that. I'm going to stand by that statement I made earlier. Culling Ritual, if you're in green-black combination, run Culling Ritual. It's just really good. Instances... kind of a little bit lower on the interaction. Looks like kind of choosing to do a little bit more like some onboard stuff between the Deadly Relic, the Abrupt Decay, and the Snap.
Yep.
Obviously Snap you can utilize as a combo piece. Especially I don't remember, was he on Ewit?
I think so.
Yes. Yeah, so Snap, Ewit, Guy's Cradle. I mean, yeah, you could utilize that as a combo piece. Again, there's the Orm's Chant, like we were talking about earlier, like just needing to just try to silence people at instant speed. Seems real good. But yeah, just kind of like how Rogthras was initially, like not super interactive, but can be, right, when it needs to be. But more so just focused on putting bodies on the field and abusing Cradle as much as it can and just presenting a win somehow, right? Yeah. Obviously, when you're in the TNT package, you do have access to black, so you have more consistent tutors. You have the Thassa's package to really close out the game. Looking at the artifacts, really low on the artifact count, but I think that's fine, especially if you're just trying to put bodies on the field where that's a little bit more difficult to interact with. Candelabra is being like one of the main pieces. Enchantments, yep. So, Swift Recon with Devoted Druid makes infinite mana. You have Survival. You can assemble the Hazel's lines that way. Growing Rights acts as another cradle. Ristic, Smothering Tide, Training Grounds, just like the Biomancer's Familiar, just reduces the Thrasios stuff and just is busted in the Thrasios deck in general. But, yep. On that, I don't think he's on any kind of special lands either. I like these on the Tarnished Citadel. I think that it's just a good include, especially if you're not worried about Necropotence and Ad-Naus. You don't give a fuck about your life total. So, all right. You got anything else for this one? All right. Congratulations, Joel, on 11th place with a record of 2, 1, and 2. In 10th place, we have Ryan Ward on Kennen Bonder Prodigy. So right away, from what I could tell, and I kind of like this, okay? I'm a big fan of Walking Ballista in Kennen. Most people aren't. I understand it's not a good card in the list, but I kind of like it as a backup win, potentially. Like, especially if you're doing like Agatha Soul Cauldron type stuff and you're able to exile it to the Cauldron, give one of your creatures on board that ability after generating infinite mana, it gives you another way of potentially even just winning at instant speed at that point.
Well, it looks like they've got a couple of like colorless instant speed wins. Like there's the Prophet of Distortion to basically draw through your deck manually. Already I'm seeing Sanctum Weaver, which tells me that they're on the Agatha's line.
Well, either Agatha's probably freed from the real.
Well, it wouldn't even surprise me if I don't know for sure, but are they on like some sort of weird like? Well, I guess it wouldn't be in here. I haven't looked far enough. I was wondering if they were on like a Pili Pala or anything like that.
Oh, that I don't know. No, it doesn't look like it.
Doesn't look like it.
No, that would be kind of sick. I do think that they're potentially on Free from the Real with the Sanctum Weaver. You were talking about the Prophet Distortion, just having that as a kind of a backup Thrasios in a way. On Disciple of Freyles.
Yeah.
That's not typically a card we see in the list, but it is kind of cool, like just being able to flip into it and then sacrificing like one of your big creatures and just drawing a bunch of cards, especially like if going into your turn you just need to dig deeper and you need more cards in hand. So I mean that is kind of cool. It kind of turns your creatures into like these multimodal spells at that point is kind of a way I kind of think of it, but yeah. Sorcery wise, the same ones we're consistently seeing within Kennen, your instant, your direct to battlefield type tutors, including the transmute artifacts. Let's see what else we got going on here. Instances, they're all mana drain, which is interesting, but I don't think that's a bad call in Kennen because it gives you just so much mana depending on what you're countering. Like you counter an Ad-Naus, that's 5, and like, okay, that pays for the generic cost on activation, so that's kind of cool. Muddle the Mixture, I think is really interesting to see here, just because you don't typically see that in these lists. Like Drift of Phantasms it was already in the list. We didn't talk about that, but like that's the transmute card that seems to be the go-to right now. Not Muddle, but they probably have a use for it somewhere. War of Invention, I think, is a card that, again, another tutor that kind of comes in and out of this deck at times. So I don't think it's a bad call. It's just something that I feel like has kind of fallen out of favor most of the time. And then looking at the artifacts, they were on Devoted Druid, so the Machine Gods it makes sense. They are on the Agatha Soul Cauldron, which I like. I think that card just in general is really, really strong right now. Just being able to potentially shut off cards from people's graveyards, and then like coincidentally accruing value through things. It seems strong. Okay, so the enchantments is that's the main thing. They're not, obviously this is not the Freedom Waffle list of like no bad cards Kennen. So they're not running like a bunch of the copy effects, but they are on Freed from the Real and Penum's Aura, which, combined with the Cryptolithrite, which I actually don't think that's a bad call in Kennen. Being able to create a little bit of redundancy between that and the Enduring Vitality, like Cryptolithrite, is strong, and it's a piece that most people don't think of. It has kind of gained some popularity in like Rogthras at times, but I think it's a really good card in Kennen.
I played against a few Kennons at the event, and I think both of them played Cryptolith Rights whenever I played against them. So yeah, I definitely agree with you there.
And then land-wise, we're still seeing like the 24 lands that we're used to seeing. Yep. So yeah, it's a Kennan list, but it's definitely an interesting one with some includes that you're not seeing at some of these bigger events. But I personally like that. So
yeah, I think Ryan was the guy that I played in my top 16 game. I believe he would have had to have been because there's no other.
Yeah, fair enough. So
what am I talking about?
But you have anything else on this list, or okay? Congratulations, Ryan, with a record of 2-1-2. All right. In ninth place, we have James Doyle on Magda. So, second week in a row, we're seeing Magda pop up.
Yep.
We covered a Magda list from the cookout, and now we're covering another one. And what's kind of interesting is look at this card that they're on.
The Spider Punk.
They are on Spider Punk.
Yep. I really didn't think List would pick that up.
Here we are. I mean, it's definitely an interesting include. And if they have the potential to just go as quickly as they can, maybe Spider-Punk just kind of sends it. You know, I know even in the comments we got last week from the Magda player from the cookout, you know, they had made a comment on even though Magda still plays a lot of the stacks, you're still trying to go as aggressive as you possibly can. Spider-Punk is a card that allows you to do that potentially, you know. So that is kind of cool to see in this, like just a new card from the new sets popping up in cEDH. But other than that, like just looking at the creature base, you know, you have your dwarves, get you treasures, you have all your shapeshifter, changeling type effects to just continue to have more and more dwarfs. You have Goblin Engineer. Are they on Goblin Welder? I don't see it in here. But even like stuff like just making a bunch of treasures through the creatures, Zorn being able to, you know, again, more creatures, Roaming Throne, we've seen quite a bit. Looking at sorceries, they're on Shatter Skull, Jessica, Sundering Eruption. Destroy target land. Okay, yeah, that's for Cradle, I feel like, most likely.
Yeah.
A little bit of interactive package, obviously. Like you're missing out on blue, so you're missing out on most of your counter magic, but you can still interact here. The artifacts being the big things. Still the stacks pieces locking down the board, being able to play around your own effects seems good. I think, I haven't seen this in a list outside my Flups list. I think it's cool that they're on Glasses of Urza.
Yeah, Glasses of Urza just seems really good.
Like being able, like you can, if they're on Urza Saga, being able to get that, if they end up feeding Rhystic Study a bunch of cards, or like Blue Farm a bunch of cards, and they're able to kind of take a look at the player's hand and kind of start kind of displacing or like just putting that attention onto the other players that way. That's kind of cool to see here.
Oh, yeah.
What else we got? Only on Blood Moon. Seems fine. Right? Yeah. So, yeah, Magda is one that I know neither of one of us have played, and I feel like every single time we see Magda, we're just like, that seems scary. I don't know how it works, but that seems scary.
I do think that it's funny that they're also on the one like Red Planet. It's listed.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So I mean, I guess there was something to be said about that. But yeah, other than that, good stuff, man.
Yep, good job. So congratulations, James, with a record of 2-1-2. In 8th place, we have Austin Brogan on Ral, Monsoon Mage.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I think wasn't there in the cookout list one of the Ral players? Weren't they on like VV and stuff like that?
I think so. I think that again, like just the straight up like red shell has kind of become like the main standard for Ral. And then you maybe have like what is it, that like 6 mana blue spell that exiles a bunch of stuff.
The Mind's Desire.
Yeah.
Am I missing it? Where is that Mind's Desire? Are they not on it?
Maybe not.
Do you think this is the prologue to Phyresis one?
That would be funny.
That would be really funny. But yeah, exactly what you were talking about. Just very few creatures, and if they are creatures, they're producing mana, right? And mostly sticking within red is the main color for the deck, just because that's where all your rituals are, and being able to continue to generate mana that way. They are on the Witch's Mark, so that is a way of being able to just kind of continue to recur those roll tokens.
Yeah.
That Lava Dart, Lightning Bolt, utilize those as finishers through loops. I'm not even seeing the prologue to Phyresis.
I don't know. Oh, well.
Oh, yeah. That's interesting. So I guess it's mostly just kind of, without the Mind's Desire. I mean, it might not be a card that you absolutely have to have, but mostly it looks like just being able to ping the table through Lava Dart and Bolt through just looping through your entire deck and triggering Ral and getting a bunch of flips and so on. Artifact wise, makes sense. Like 0 drops, not wanting anything big, like too many of the talisman. Like there's a talisman in Arcane, but you don't need Felwar Stone. Not trying to do the One Ring. You're trying to win before that even happens. So makes sense. And just as we kind of talked about it last week on the enchantments, like more of these lists are picking up Rhystic Study. Whereas like maybe a month or so ago, these RAL lists had been off of Rhystic. Now they're putting them back in. So I don't think that's a bad call one way or another. And they are on 17 lands. So I guess that's kind of the trend we are also seeing with RAL. They are starting to up the land count a little bit more instead of being purely on like the 14 as far as like a base for your lands go. So yeah, I think that is outside the Mind's Desire not being here in the 99, or at least from what I could tell, like, the grape shots, the lava darts, and the bolts as the main wins, and just looping shit over and over and over again and pinging the table. So it's doing the RAL thing.
Agreed.
Yeah, agreed. Yes. Congratulations, Austin, on 8th place with a record of 2-0-3. All right. In 7th place, we have JP Goodings on Atali. Very nice. Very nice. So we got an Atali on the top here. Okay.
Is there anything you're seeing that's standing out immediately?
I could be wrong in saying this. Do we usually see a combat celebrant?
I don't think so.
And
I was kind of thinking
that's what I'm kind of looking at is, do we normally see a combat celebrant? I think not.
I mean, we see Rionia, but it is interesting.
Well, but I mean, if you think about it, if you don't have access to Atali, or you can't do more flips or anything like that, but then you do the Rionia Combat Celebrant, and you make copies of Combat Celebrant.
Yes.
And then you exert all of them, and then you go into another combat. Rionia triggers again, and then you kill the table that way.
Yeah.
Seems pretty good. They are also on Dualcaster Mage, so being able to kind of shift gears when need be and going off of the food chain line to just mill everyone out and cast all their stuff, whereas you can just go into this Rionia Combat Celebrant or just like a Dualcaster line. I like it. It seems good. Just gives you another way of just like cleanly finishing the game potentially.
Yeah.
The only thing that it really doesn't get around is the One Ring.
Yeah.
So,
which I'm sure you can find a way in this deck.
Probably. I mean, but then kind of going down, looking at the sorceries, we're on Gamble, we're on a bunch of rituals, we're on direct to battlefield type stuff, we are on make token copies of stuff, like traditional things you're used to seeing within Atali. Some interaction, but not a whole lot, with the Pyroblast, Red Elemental Blast. A couple of pieces just more so like onboard interaction, and then some rituals. Blake over there being a sleepy boy. It is very late, but we're going to grind through the rest of this.
we stopped to record a podcast in between this.
I know.
With Kellen, but
yeah, so that's what to look forward to for Friday with our new recording schedule is if you want to see us ramble for a couple hours with Kellen Quinn, then be tuning in on Friday for that episode. But yeah, Atali looks like Atali. Just a few rocks, mostly focused on the rituals and maybe some dork type stuff to get the mana, good enchantments that you need. I think Earthcraft, I don't think
I
a lot
was
of
kind of
pilots
thinking,
are on Earthcraft.
I was seeing that and I thought it was kind of interesting too. But
I mean, it's neat. I understand like the reasoning behind it, right?
yeah,
If you can't take advantage of the dorks as soon as they come down, like you just, or like something like a Tinder Wall, like you can untap a mountain and then with the Tinder Wall that just came out and then just sack it and you get 3 red mana right then and there. Seems pretty good. I like that. So,
yeah.
yeah. Congratulations, JP, with a record of 3-2. All right. In 6th place, we have Sean Rader on Ishai Clark. So, Sean, we have talked about her before in that she is a very good kitted pilot.
Yes.
This is not kitted.
No.
This is definitely not kitted.
I asked her why she brought it, and she said she just like wanted to play something different and threw the list together.
Fair enough.
And almost won the top 16 game, but like just had nuts start, had gifts in hand, went and got a gifts pile, and was gonna get the win. And they just had the perfect interaction to stop
Wow.
her. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. So it's kind of funny because like we talked with y'all a few weeks ago of just like how Jeskai is, where it's just like there's a lot of really fun things to do in Jeskai, and it has really good combos, but it has a hard time closing out the game.
Yep.
And so I think that that's just kind of the issue that this color pair runs into. But obviously she did well. Like we're talking about her right now. So let's kind of take a look at this list overall. So definitely trying to lean heavily into the Kark stuff with Harmonic Prodigy. Maybe even doing some like having Downey there. Let's see. Is Downey count for trigger?
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, doubling down on triggers for Kark with her Downey, I mean that's pretty cool.
Really good. Yep.
And Ishai you can kind of almost use as like this inconsequential piece where it's going to like punish your opponents for casting spells.
Yeah, most lists are never going to cast the Ishai.
No,
but if you end
yeah.
up in a super late game, it can be relevant.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, and that's kind of how I see it. Like, it's kind of like what we talked about before with the Kark Sokka list, right? Where the predominant thing is Kark, and the other part's kind of the backup plan, and that's how you play these decks for the most part. It's just if you end up getting both out in this case, and people just start jamming spells and not thinking about what Ishai actually does, you could probably kill someone with commander damage very quickly, right? So I do think that is cool. This partner pairing, Drift of Phantasms. I'm wondering if she's just going straight for Rhystic Study, yeah, or Bergie potentially,
Downey.
or Downing, yeah, Veyran, yeah, Professional Facebreaker, Ranger Captain. Yeah, that's cool.
Anything you want. Go get intuition.
I think that Drift of Phantasms is kind of a very underrated card. I think that this card could actually see a lot more play outside of Kennen. And I'm glad that she chose to include it in here just because the meta, like even though it is like more of a turbo shift right now, Ristic Study is still the meta, right?
Yeah.
So having something to instantly just go and grab that without having to like, especially when you're kind of low on your tutors anyway, or at least the better tutors because you're down black. I think it's cool. I think that's a piece that more people should kind of consider, even in blue form potentially. Like,
what I do think is funny. We haven't gotten there yet. Go ahead. Well, I'll bring it up in a minute.
okay, so sorcery wise, they're on the grape shot, the end of the festivities. If they have a way of being able to loop things, or just continue doing Kark triggers and just damaging the table that way. Some wheels, Savine's Reclamation. So I mean, obviously they're on some kind of like breach, underworld breach package. I think that was kind of a given. Yes. Seeing as though we're in Jeskai, and that's like the main thing it's wanting to do anyway.
I'm really sad because she's not on Angel's Grace.
I'm not. She don't need Angel's Grace. She proved that. You ran Angel's Grace. It only placed 16th.
It is Esper.
But again, you can utilize the gut shot and lightning bolt. Presumably as like a win con. If you're able to loop things, we're seeing the Orms chant like we've already talked about. More or less, I think are going to pick it up. Intuition and gifts just makes sense to kind of double down on them. Blue farm can go one or both or the other, but they also have all the black tutors. Just guy, you're very limited. So I miss you.
You're good.
Artifact wise, just putting out a few bits of mana. The Krark's Thumb being kind of irrelevant at times, just being able to reset your flips and being able to, kind of continue doing the thing you're looking for. And then enchantment wise, they are on the Mirror Maid, which I think is still nice. I think that's fine, and copy enchantment. So cool to see those in this list. And then at 25 lands, yep, just looks like Jeskai lands. Nothing too special seems to be sticking out to me on that one. You were about to say something.
No, everything was good.
Oh, never mind then. Congratulations, Sean, with a record of 3-1-1. All right, in fifth place, we have Matt Schneider on Joyra, Aegis Innovator. So this is not the Joyra that most people are familiar with. That is also not the Weatherlight Captain, but that's a different story.
This is Artifact counters Joyra.
So it's definitely like a very interesting build. So it looks like there's a lot of like a little bit of untap type shenanigans with the Pheto Alchemist and the Corridor Monitor. Same thing with the Vizier, the Tumbling Sands, Filigree Sages, being able to kind of cheat things into play with this Master Transmuter if they need to. They're playing Iron Man in the 99. That's kind of cool. Definitely an interesting list. Not one you typically think of in Joyra, but it still is trying to fit that kind of classic, like, is it artifacts package, as opposed to like the storm builds that we're seeing. But again, I think I made the comment last week. Or maybe I said it at the beginning of this one. I don't remember. We've done a lot of recording today. It seems to be making a comeback right now.
Yeah.
So that might be something for people to be mindful of, is seeing these Izzet decks pop up. What we've seen Rao, we're seeing Joyra right now. We saw Krark Sakashima. Like, those are all, I mean, within Izzet colors. You can technically even include Sean's list in there, because I feel like the white is mostly there for like just the silence effects. Right? If they're doing Krark things, they're still trying to storm off. It's mostly within the Izzet shell, though.
Yes.
So, maybe Turbo and then Izzet stuff is just proving its worth right now. It's also we can also kind of the same with Sima Blue.
Yeah.
Because it's still like Rock Thras. Most variants of it are Rock Thras.
Yeah.
So it's taking advantage of the red-blue stuff. So, yeah, this is cool. You got any?
No, I don't. I think that it's sick. I definitely agree with you.
We're losing them, folks.
I didn't know if there was anything else you were trying to add, but yeah, no, I just think, again, the whole idea of manual storm throughout your deck, just build it. Yeah, I think that this list is absolutely dope.
Yeah. And like they're playing on like the Endstone, Coveted Jewel, 1,000-Year Elixir, Lithoform Engine. Like, they're playing a lot of just crazy things you like outside of branded Shorkai list and a few other like here and there decks. Like, you're not really playing, but I think he's been on this list for a while now and has been doing very, very well with it. So even though I've only played with it just very briefly, played against it very briefly because the game ended on like turn 3 when we got to play against one another. It's definitely a cool deck.
Absolutely.
So congratulations, Matt, with a record of 3-0-2. In fourth place, we have Jared Webb on Kefka, Court Mage. Before kind of diving into the list, notably, Valky, God of Lies,
that came
is
up
in
in
here.
Our game.
Huh?
That came up in our game.
And you know who talked about that card? That's a good card.
Yeah.
I think just recently they talked about it. about this. I don't think it was for this week's episode. I think it was last week's that they talked about Valky. So if you have not checked out that podcast, go check out That's a Good Card and show them some love and like and subscribe to them and like and subscribe to us. Anyway,
no, they resolved Valky in our game together, and they whenever they exiled or whenever they the thing that they exiled was there was an Obnix at the table, and they exiled their it's like the baby Obnix. I don't know, I can't think. Prosper.
Prosper Tombin.
And yeah, so then they had the ability to where they could exile a card and play it until the next end step and just fucking flip into a Flusterstorm.
Oh.
And I was like, And then they just get to their turn and they're like, toss a decon? And I was just like, what the fuck? Their rest of the hand was all interaction, and then they had the extra Flusterstorm back up just chilling. I was like,
that's crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, it looks like this is a list. I don't necessarily think that this is the exact list that you and Bissy covered.
No.
Like there's some definitely notable things, but just leaning heavy into the Kefka plan with things like the Harmonic Prodigy and the Flesh Duplicate and the Phantasmal Image, Clever Impersonator for Metamorph, just examples of those. And then playing like good Grixis cards like the Orcish Bowmaster and Bergi and Thassa's. Yep. We're in black, so we have access to all the best tutors, right? They are opting to do Praetor's Grasp and Toxic Deluge, and I don't think that that's a bad thing. I think that we need to see a little bit more board wipes with some of these decks that are popping up, and Rogthras is still a thing. So looking at the instances, it's just good Grixis cards. Having some rituals, having a full interactive package. Adnaz, seems good. Like looking at the artifacts. Has Defense Grid been one that we've seen pop up in Kefka?
Yeah.
Has? Okay. Just kind of making sure. Because, we're in this Grixis shell, so it makes sense for it to be there. We just kind of typically think of it as being like more the ROG side card, where we're in a turbo shell and we need to protect our win. So I guess it's kind of the same thing here. You don't have access to the white, so that does make a little bit more sense to have that in there. And then as far as enchantment goes, they are on copy enchantment, which I think is good. I think that having the copy effects right now, I think is very strong. Yeah. So why not?
Probably not on Waste Not.
Not on Waste Not. Interesting. And that they're on 27 lands, which seems fine. That seems, I think, pretty standard. But yeah, Kefka doing Kefka things, absolutely. Right? So congratulations with a record of 2-2-1. In third place, we have Corbin from Lemon Pepper Wet on Blue Farm. So you got to play against Corbin twice.
Yeah, I lost to Corbin twice. The first game was really good, very interactive, lots of politicking, really good. Like he did a lot of I literally looked at him in the middle of the game and was like, I can see why you're such a good player, because like he did such a good job deflecting stuff and attention to me, and knowing when to push, when to not. At one point, he went and like tried to jam a Grand Abolisher. One of the players had a counter for it, and he was just straight up. He was like, "Show me another counter, and I won't fight you over this." He's like, "I'll show you the counter that I would use." He's like, "You show me your counter." He was like, "I won't fight this. I'll just pass the turn because we don't want to feed, this guy tons of cards." And he was pointing at me, and I literally looked at him and I was like, "Brother, I'm here to stop you from winning." Like, and then it was crazy, but it was very good. Really big stack battle. Eventually, everything resolved, and he got the win. There was just no way we were stopping it. The second game, he opened, and this is our top 16 game. He opened like, I don't know, Jesus was involved in that game. Like, I thought I was going to have a fantastic start. I had a turn, pregame gemstone. He had a pregame gemstone. And then I had before my first turn, I had enlightened tutored for fish on top of the library. He enlightened tutored for Ristic on top of the library. He goes Ancient Tomb for turn 1 Ristic. I go turn 1 fish. He goes turn 2 Smothering Tithe. I go turn 2 Lotho. And then he goes turn 3 Grand Abolisher Protected Wind. GG's. And I literally just The way that I described it to everybody at the table was like, I feel like I had the Diet Blue Farm start. Like he had the full meal. I had the Coke Zero version of the.
Oh my goodness.
It was both the games against him were really good, but he's really fucking good.
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad you had really good games against him. I've played against him before too, and the game didn't last very long. He was sitting at seat 1, and he was on Blue Farm, and then we lost to like a turn 2, turn 3 Rocco.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I've played against him before, but it was funny because like the game I ended up against him, it was literally 3 lemon pepper wings.
oh my
It was
god,
him, Drewby, and somebody else. I can't remember who, but it was literally me in seat 4, but him in seat 1 on Blue Farm, Row me.
wow,
So, yeah. And I took that game to a draw, which I was very happy about.
fair enough. Well, let's take a look at this list. I mean, overall, it's Blue Farm, right? Not a whole lot of differences. Choosing to do Bergie and Professional Facebreaker, which I like that. I like having both. I think that if I had to pick one, I typically go for the Bergie over the Professional, but I think Professional is becoming more and more
Just
prevalent right now, especially like he's on Lotho, he's on Taru, and if he's kind of being really dependent on things like Smothering Tithe, like you might as well do it just to see more cards, right? So
Bergie did end up coming up in like the top 16 game that he won. He literally cast backside of Bergie and then resolved an Adnos, picked up a ton of cards, realized he didn't want half of them, and just started pitching them for Bergie.
fair enough.
It was stupid.
I mean, it makes sense. Like sometimes, like having it as like a multimodal thing, or having that much flexibility in the card, just it makes sense to put it in. I think most Blue Farm lists should include it. If they don't cast it for the Bergie side and the extra mana, the other side becomes very relevant the later the game goes. So, looking at the sorceries, no Jessica's will, but they are on the wheel.
Yep.
And pretty much the standard stuff we have been seeing for sorceries. Same thing with this interaction package. He is choosing to do things like an offer you can't refuse and the snapback, and then there's the Rain of Filth there. So we're definitely leaning more into like that Grixis-y shell, or maybe Grixis slash Mardu shell, where we're just like trying to go really aggressive and really fast, utilizing an offer as more of a ritual spell than anything else. And then obviously intuition doesn't need gifts ungiven. Again, we've been seeing that a whole lot with Blue Farm list. Artifact wise, no One Ring, but he is on the grinding station.
And the Talisman of Progress that we talked about earlier.
Yes. So that's where I feel like, when we see the Rain of Filth, we see the grinding station, and we see those pieces like in particular, it's definitely like we're trying to go fast with this Blue Farm. Like this is like the turbo-y version of the deck, is what it seems at least. And if you got a turn 3 win after resolving a turn 1 Ristic and the turn 2 Smothered Tithe, turn 3 win, like it kind of proves that it's doing the aggressive shit. Same enchantments we're used to seeing, probably same lands that we're used to seeing. I think the only thing that we've noticed trend wise over the past couple of weeks is this inclusion of the City of Traders in Blue Farm.
Yep.
And that's the kind of the only, like, he's still on it.
I thought about adding that into my list. I'm not gonna lie. City of Traders right before I that's the event, but I decided against it.
You need it.
Faster turns.
Fair enough.
Heck, that into Talisman turn 1. Or that into nothing turn 1.
Oh man, so
Just city pass.
fair enough.
Next turn land. Don't tap sit. No.
All right. Well, congratulations, Corbin, with a record of 2-1 and 2. All right. In second place, we have Dossie Ducksworth on Rogthras. All right. So first Rogthras deck. I feel like we've started seeing Rogthras kind of fall out of favor here recently. Like we didn't even see one convert, right? At the cookout. I don't think there
would have been one that won the whole thing if there wasn't a controversy. But
well, that's for Friday's discussion. Okay. Spoilers.
I say that may not have won the whole thing.
Yeah, maybe not. But
fucking kicking ass up until that point.
Yeah.
But no, I'm immediately looking at this damn Dimensional Infiltrator. That is not common at all. That is a card that I see in the weird Power Artifact Zerd decks. What the fuck is this doing?
But I mean, can you blame him for trying it?
No, I mean make infinite mana, exile the fuck out of people's decks. Like that's really good.
Yeah. So I mean, okay. So here's the thing that kind of stands out to me about this. I think just the list as a whole. You're looking at the Dimensional Infiltrator. I'm looking at the Kinnan because we have not been seeing Kinnan pop up in this list.
No, I agree.
And I think that if he's running Kinnan, this is a really good card to run with it. Because now, like, if you don't have access to like your Oboro Breeze Collar stuff, but you get down to Kinnan and you just flip, and then you start flipping into this, and then I'm assuming there's a Basalt Monolith, no Basalt Monolith, interesting, but if there was a Basalt Monolith, like you kind of have just like this.
I mean, you still
other
have
combo in the
Enduring.
deck.
You have Enduring.
Yeah, no,
You mentioned like you're running a shit ton of clones in the list. Well, this version's not. This is just a Mockingbird and Metamorph there.
The Flesh Duplicate, Phyrexian
Flesh
Metamorph,
yeah.
and Mockingbird.
Yeah, so I mean, being able to either like clone Valley Flood Caller and then continue to like storm off into stuff and like get the untap, tap it down like it, for the mana for Enduring. Just be able to like continue to do stuff like that and like loop enough. I mean, that's I don't know, stuff like that seems really, really, really good.
Yeah, most lists aren't on the Elvish Reclaimer. I don't think either. Being able to tutor for another land and just put it directly onto the battlefield seemed pretty good. Like it's a crop rot on a body, right? So that's kind of cool to see here. Definitely interesting tech compared to what we are usually seeing with Rogthras, but I don't think that's a bad thing. Sorceries, they are on the gamble, and they are on the bolt. So they can loop bolt.
Ewit bolt.
Ewit and Ewit bolt, and then being able to do with Displacer Kitten and things like that. Snap Ewit.
Yeah, untap as long as you can hit a blue source and then total.
Yep.
Recast. Loop.
This is a card. So they are on Consult the Star Charts. I think I talked about this one in our Edge of Eternities.
Yes, you did.
Review, saying I thought that this could be a Rogthras card. Here we are finally seeing a list that's actually running it and got second place. I think that's kind of cool. Like being able to utilize this instant speed, like just look at more and more cards. I like it.
He was dominating all day. So,
yeah.
I mean, he's clearly, his list is working.
Yeah. Very interactive, right? A lot of counter spells here. Frantic Search being able to use as not just a cantrip, but untapping your Cradle, and also as a combo piece with Underworld Breach. They're on a little bit. Nah, I'm not gonna say they're on higher. They're a little bit lower than what we have been seeing on the artifact counts, but still they're on all the good ones. Okay, I like this. This man is on Song of Creation. I think it's a really good card in this list. I think it's solid and just kind of keeps you going on your turn. And then if you just kind of fizzle, okay, you go heavy into the Thrasios plan anyway and just draw more cards. So I think it's solid. On that, the majority of it is still Rogthras, like what we are used to seeing. But I do think there's some notable includes in here that are kind of cool.
Yeah, so I agree. This was a couple of things that were worth like just pointing out. Yeah.
Yeah. So congratulations, Dossie, with a record of 3-0-2. And finally, in first place, we have Tim Toronto, also known as Gold Sabertooth, on Rocco Cabaretti Caterer.
This event was fun shit. Just being able to meet Tim, be able to talk to him. Yeah, hopefully do some collaboration stuff with them. But we talked a shit ton during the event. It was a lot of fun.
I'm so jealous. Like we talked a little bit, like in between rounds, or like at the beginning of day 2, we talked some at his booth. But I wanted to spend more time with him at the cookout. He seemed so cool, and he was very personable. And I wish I could have gone to this event. Not even to play in it. I just wanted to talk to him. But it was
fun. I asked him why he picked Rocco, and he told me that I thought it was funny, but he literally said that he knew a lot of people were going to be wanting to either like buy mats, tokens, whatever it would be, and they'd want to talk to him, socialize with him, and everything else. So he said, I just picked a deck that could win fast. So I could
Hell
get back
yeah,
to the booth.
brother. Hell yeah.
And I mentioned the thing about Zur, and then we were talking about Marnius, and he used this term, and now I'm going to use this forever. He called it Esper Fatigue. And because I told him at the end of the day, I was like, dude, I'm zapped. And he said, Esper Fatigue's real, brother. And I
Yeah.
was like, yes, it is.
Dude. And I've gone on record saying this before. I like Naya colors. I think Rocco is probably our best example of a Naya deck in cEDH,
1000%.
right?
I
So
don't think there's anything even close.
no, no, not even. Next one's like Blood Pot, right?
That's not even Naya.
Mostly Naya
I was
with
thinking more
black.
like, what, like Pantlaza?
That might be
That deck
it.
has kind of fallen out of
Yeah,
favor. I mean, you technically have like Jetmir.
yeah,
That
no,
deck's fallen out
no.
of favor.
Rocco's the way to go if you're in Naya
And what
colors.
else is there?
That's it.
Nothing new.
That's pretty much it. So let's take a look at this deck. So for the most part, utilizing creature combo synergies and pod type effects with the Vivian and most likely on Birthing Pod, and then being able to do things like through food chain, like there's the Squee, food chain, Squee, make infinite creature mana, be able to infinitely cast Rocco and tutor out every creature that you want to onto the battlefield. So this deck is just focused on getting down to those kind of combo lines as quickly as possible. And then you have a lot of dorks. You have this Phyrexian Dreadnought here in order to Rocco for one, Phyrexian Dreadnought, be able to sack it. As we have been told numerous times now about the Academy Rector and the Arena Rector being able to sacrifice them and just being able to go and get your food chain or go and get the Vivian. Oftentimes comboing off with the Kiki Jiki and the Felidar Guardian, and probably he might be on Survival of the Fit. I would assume he's on Survival of the Fittest as well, utilizing that as a way of assembling this combo outside of just the Rocco stuff, and just you resolve a survival, you start paying into it, you go into your turn, you Karmic Guide, get the Felidar Guardian. Or the Kiki, be able to make a copy or blink the Karmic Guide, get the last piece, make infinite cats, right? And then the other kind of infinite combo is usually just like the Jolly Balloon Man and the Village Bell Ringer. Even though you had to pay one into the Jolly Balloon Man compared to Kiki Jiki, when you untap all of your creatures, you're hoping to have things like the Fabral Elder or some other dorks and just generate infinite mana that way. And just being able to make infinite Village Bell Ringers and just going out that way. So it's a lot of creature synergies. It is combat focused. I have not seen people include Jetmir and Elish Norn, Mother of Machines, in the 99.
Yeah, I think the Elish Norn actually came up in the last, or like in his top 16 game, which he ended up playing against Travis.
Oh, yeah. So that's very interesting. But that's cool, right? Like if you do have the Elish Norn out and you cast Rocco and it resolves, like you get double triggers and you just start looking for multiple things.
Yeah.
Jetmir as a way of being able to buff all your creatures and give them double strike, and that's dope.
Oh yeah.
That's sick. And then what do we got in the sorceries here? Direct to battlefield type creature tutors, Jessica's Will of Fortune, some ritual type effects to make more mana. The Metamorphose probably would say just to be able to sacrifice the Rocco and then kind of continue whatever chain that you want to do.
Yes. Yeah.
Similar to how you would play it in Atali.
Yeah, it's just like baby food chain.
Yep. And then instances, he did not give a fuck about trying to interact. He's
Literally
just straight
jamming.
up jamming. So yeah, that's cool. Like there's some onboard removal, but outside of that, like I said, nothing interactive. Silence, protect his own turn. Artifacts, there's the Birthing Pod. A lot of just 0-drop stuff in there. Don't have to get too fancy with it, especially if you have a bunch of dorks already. And then enchantment wise, there's the food chain.
Yeah, not even doing breach. Just
Not on breach. But I think that's fine. You don't need it in this deck.
Correct.
Like, breach is better when you have access to brain freeze. So, but yeah, doing food chain stuff, just jamming. He's on 29 lands. Wow. That's interesting. Such a high land count for this deck. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but like,
Yeah.
It's definitely interesting.
I agree.
So, congratulations, Tim, on your first place finish at this event with a record of 3-1-1.
Oh, brother, what are you thinking about after all that?
Damn, he won his own event.
Yeah,
I know. I think my understanding of it is I think they ended up just splitting the
they
top
did.
four.
Yeah, we're ranking everything up, and they just agreed. He ended up winning it. I think because they were deciding. The other players decided that they would rather have the card, and Tim was like, "I'd rather have the top pick points." So
Fair enough.
they were trying to decide on what they wanted to do, and they all just decided to like, I guess, like concede, give it to him. I think that's what ended up happening. And then, after that happened, I think the store randomly decided like who actually got the card from there. And I can't remember if they just gave it to Dossie or not, because I mean he was cooking everybody, like
Really?
he was kicking ass. I mean, he was really fucking good. But yeah, but I was just happy that Zerg had a 100% conversion rate at this event.
Hell yeah. And you know what else did too? Glarb. Glarb also got that. So, and TNT got 25% conversion rate, and all three of those people were from us.
Nope.
So, hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Congrats on that again. So,
No, I was just happy, honestly. I was very happy to see like our little local people come and like
yeah.
like
Yeah.
stand out. And on top of that, dude, like I know that I get it. Like it's people. To me, I was just happy that I was able to finally top 16 a bigger event with Sir. Like I remember when we set our goals earlier in the year. Obviously, my goal will eventually be to win an event with Zer. But I understand like baby steps.
Yeah.
Like, winning an event on anything is fucking incredible, much less like on a deck like that. But I made a comment that I was like, I want a top 16, a 60 plus player event with Zer. And I thought I was going to do it whenever we went up through the decades. And instead, it ended up being like, 50 something people. So I ended up not being able to do it there. So I was like, okay, I still have this goal. I want to be able to do it. Went to this event. I was committed. I was like, we're going to do it. And we got there. And as soon as they were doing I wasn't sure if I was going to make top cut because I was looking at all the names of people that had won. And I literally was tracking it as it was going. I was like, okay, that bumps me down one. Okay, that bumps me down one. Okay, that bumps me down one. Okay, and then eventually I was like, okay, I'm at 15 right now if my math's right, and there's a couple other games that need to finish out. So I was like, I'm like on the bubble basically.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, they started announcing like who made top 16. I was next to Tim whenever they were announcing it. We were just sitting there shooting shit.
Yeah.
And they said in 16th, and they said my name, and he was like, let's fucking go. And I was like, yes. He was like, hell yeah, that's so.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. And then he proceeded to say that I am the better player between me and Chase.
Hey. He may have said that, but I'd still top 16 pool priority.
You did. I think you're a really good player.
I don't.
That's your own problem.
I don't think I'm a good player whatsoever, but it is what it is. It is what it is. But
regardless,
no, I'm glad that you're able to go to this event, and especially like after the whirlwind this past like month, especially the last like 2-3 weeks has been for both of us, and it still will continue to be for I think the next couple of weeks. But just being able to go after everything that's been going on for you personally and being able to place in this event like and kind of accomplish your goal before we are quickly approaching the end of this year, like that's awesome. So yeah, like I said, man, congrats on that again, and hopefully we'll both be on one of these top 16s together, because I know that I've already registered for Game Night's next event in November.
The Thanksgiving one?
Yeah, the Saturday before Thanksgiving, or Saturday before the week of Thanksgiving. So I've already registered for that, and I know we have a local event that we're gonna play at. You're gonna do Yuriko, I'm gonna do Flubs, but it's local, so it's fine. And then yeah, we'll just keep jamming. We'll keep making videos. Hopefully, get some gameplay out. And we got gameplay out this week finally after a few weeks not having one. So I hope people have gone on there and watched that and enjoyed that. And if gameplay is not your thing, we have several videos over the past couple months that you should go watch. I know it's been a while since Spider-Man like actually first came out, but some of these cards are popping up, and some of them we talked about with y'all a few weeks ago. If you haven't checked that one out, I encourage you to do that because that was a fun one to talk with him. Last week we talked with Zach Adler. If you haven't watched that one, go fucking check that one out because Zach is just amazing and he's such a good human being. And I think that you should show him some love and appreciation and go sub to his channel if you haven't already.
And this week we've got a video coming out with Kellen, so go check that out whenever it comes out.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, that will come out on Friday because that's what our new schedule is as far as Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. So yeah,
got a lot of stuff working on the we're working. We're trying to do stuff, trying to grow, trying to help grow the space. Just having a good time, having fun, just having I don't know, just trying to be a part of the cEDH scene.
Yeah,
just doing the best that we can, and I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're having a good time, but I'm having a blast.
I hope they're having a good time. I got these mics for them to be able to have a good fucking time.
I should thank Jace because this shit was not cheap.
So if you like, hopefully these mics sound really good. I hope they do.
Really
I don't know.
Good. ASMR good.
Oh, they better sound good. And if they don't, I'm going to send them back. And then you all can deal with the really shitty ones we were doing before. Blake had a hard time, like, I think he's struggling today because he's like, I like my little thing that I clip on.
I'm partial.
He's partial. He's stubborn is more like it.
That's also true.
That's also true. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this top 16 breakdown for today. And check us out on Friday and Sunday for podcast episodes and gameplays. And if you would, go on ahead and just like, subscribe, and drop a comment down below on some of these decks or thoughts on the meta or whatever you want to. Just go on ahead and do that. Join our Patreon. You know, we've been working towards getting new equipment, doing a new setup, being able to consistently put out things for you guys. I've had someone I may have talked about it a little bit earlier on this. I don't remember. So I'm going to say it again. I've had someone that's asked about coaching. So I've been trying to talk with them on a regular basis and get things set up and put out recordings of that. And it's a good time for the channel and we want everyone to be a part of that. So are you just waiting for me?
Oh yeah.
Oh, we're done. It's like literally midnight when we're finishing this shit up. So yeah, join the Patreon and you still get access to Criticals League for the remainder of the month if you join it at any of our tiers. Join our Discord. Again, like, subscribe, and as always,
go play some cEDH. Better came through very crisp.
It better.
Please.